If you would, prior to our start here, I would like to note that we did a executive session on personnel after the council meeting on last Tuesday. For the record, please. This time roll call. Alex, I understand you do roll call?
Yes.
If you would start when you're ready.
Mayor Nackett,
Present.
Deputy Mayor Capriani. Present. Councilor Britt.
Present.
Councilor Arnone. Present. Councilor King. Yes. Councilor Mott.
Yes.
Councilor Eagle.
Present.
Yes, one.
Thank you. Approval of minutes for the regular council meeting minutes of December 13th, 2023. Do I have a motion, please? Second. Any questions, comments? If not, roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Capriani. Yes. Mayor Nackett.
Yes.
Councilor King.
Yes.
Councilor Mott.
Yes.
Councilor Eagle.
Yes.
Councilor Arnone. Yes. Councilor Britt.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Next, we have a proclamation recognizing Charles Gutlack. Is that pronounced pronunciation? Family representative has come tonight, so we will be doing that proclamation hopefully at the next meeting. Public comment. Do we have anyone signed up for public comment? Not at this time. All right, moving on. Report, city manager.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. A couple of things to report. First of all, we began conducting interviews this week for the Director of Community Economic Development position. We have 4 interviews scheduled this week. 2 have taken place. The other 2 will take place later this week. Last week, we had a meeting with the PennDOT Deputy Secretary for Multimodal Transportation to discuss the RAISE grant. And PennDOT is going to be providing administrative support for the RAISE grant to the city and its project partners. This is a big win for the city. In a lot of states and also Pennsylvania, the Department of Transportation provides assistance with RAISE grants. The RAISE grant is a program that's a nationwide program. And so for various reasons, that didn't happen with the city's application. And so for the last 2 years, the city and its project partners have been administering the grant, and quite capably, I would add. But certainly, with a large grant like this, it certainly helps to have support from the state and multimodal office. So we're going to be working with the Deputy Secretary over the coming month to formalize that agreement. It's likely the PennDOT will be assigning a consulting group that they have an open-end contract with to the city to assist with the administrative portion of the grant. And this will, a lot of this work will revolve around the bidding, the construction administration, working with contractors as the various projects move through to construction. And, this won't just be for the Main Street project, this will be for all of the projects, the train station, the transit center, and the incline plane. So PennDOT will be working with all 3 organizations to move the RAISE grant forward. If you recall, a couple months ago, we secured a grant from the Department of Community Economic Development for the city comprehensive plan, and we had some conversations about that. At the last planning commission meeting, there was a DCED representative, George Newsom, who came to present some information to the planning commission and answer questions about the comprehensive plan process. And so our goal is to move out the RFP for the plan to seek a consultant. And so as a part of that process, we're putting together a committee of planning commission members and council members and staff members for that plan and for that selection process. And so we would ask for a volunteer or 2 from council to serve on that committee if there's anybody interested. Thank you, okay. Councilor Hugel's already on the planning commission, so we have 2, so we're good there. Thank you. And then finally, I do want to recognize Rob Forsey from Vision Together 2025. I think he has an update on their strategic planning process, which will go hand in hand with the city's comprehensive plan. So, Rob.
Thank you. I'm going to get this wrong, Mayor. Do I need to announce myself?
Yes,
or?
please. Name, address, what you're speaking regarding, sir.
Thank you, sir. My name is Robert Forsey. I'm the Executive Director for Vision Together 2025. We are located here in the city at 416 Main Street. I live up in South Lawn, but that's irrelevant for today. What I wanted to touch base with you on very quickly is we will be following up with direct emails to each one of you that would like to participate. But on February the 19th and the 20th, we will be holding a strategic planning session at the Holiday Inn here in town. The 19th will be a dinner where we'll be discussing some of the things that we think are important. We would like city council, the mayor, whoever would like to be a part of it, including department heads, to attend that so that we can make sure that we're in alignment with everything that is going on within the city. There'll be a follow-up, a formal invitation we'll be sending out on the 20th, which is the day where the work is actually going to be done. The time frame will be 9 to 2 o'clock that day, and we'll be providing breakfast and lunch if you would like to attend that. So,
What's the time frame on the 19th?
the 19th, it'll be 6 to 8, I think it is.
And where at, I'm sorry?
Holiday Inn.
Both?
Yes.
That's not open to the public, it's by invitation.
By invitation.
You do know it's a holiday.
I do, yeah. That was the day that the board decided to do.
Any questions, council?
Any vision questions also, if there's anything that I can answer?
No, but I would like to make a comment, and I do want to say that I appreciate the fact that you're taking into account what the city vision is, so that it means that we're all working together. You have more than one vision, that's that vision. So I appreciate that all the entities are working together for the good of one cause, and that's the way it should be.
Of course. And there's no reason why we shouldn't all move in the same direction if the boat's going in the same direction. So, we want to make sure that we're doing that. And if there's issues, I would expect Ethan to be bringing that as part of the meeting if he's able to attend, of issues that you think that we should be focusing on, or if there's anything we can do to help with that. This is not about vision leading the way. It's about vision doing it together as councilmen.
At the last meeting you guys had with the one that, talk about neighborhoods and whatnot, and you asked me, what can we do to bring more people to come to these meetings, because it was sort of sparse. And my suggestion would be to have it after 5, because a lot of people work.
Yeah.
At 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, whatever isn't going to work.
Yeah, that was the first step that we're going to take, because, it was okay. Attendance wasn't as good as the capture team report out, the first one we had under my administration, or whatever. But that one we were talking about the Tree Vitalize grant at that time. And actually, that's not a bad thing. Thank you for reminding me about that. That program is still moving forward. All of 2024, just in case anybody's wondering about it, is planning. So we don't put the first tree according to the grant application, we put it into the ground until 2025. That doesn't mean we can't, but there's a lot of this, since it's a federal grant, we found out that not only is it through the U.S. Department of Agriculture, but then they pass down to a U.S. Forestry Administration regional area, which is going to be the administrator of the grant. So we're kind of working through this, and subsequently, I don't want to steal anybody's thunder, but one of the nonprofits in town is actually considering hiring a compliance officer for all of these grants, which should be available for us, any of us, to be able to utilize that utility as we move forward. These projects that we get into, and as far as making sure that we're in compliance, reporting correctly, all of those other things, huge for the entire city, because it's impacts the entire city. That grant alone, if we were to mess it up, we'd lose out on 1,600 trees, and I don't want to do that.
Is that just for new planting? Because some of the trees that were planted have not survived, basically, and need replanted.
Yeah, well, and that's part of the planning that we want to do, is we want to obviously work with the city. You also are going to have some need during the renovation of Main Street. We would like to be the agency that provides the trees for that, so that it's one thing that we can cross off the list. But, to your point, Mayor, there's trees around town that are dead. And whether they were the last planting or 12 plantings ago, if it's dead, we need to remove it and replace it. Western Pennsylvania Conservancy is the partnering agency. They're the ones that are actually prepping the site, putting together getting the trees there for us, all of that other stuff. So as we identify those sites where we want to put that, that'll become a problem. And
Let me ask you this then too also. Most people are in favor of the planting of trees. Some of them are upset that they were not told where they were going, et cetera. And if you live in certain sections of the city, like Kansas City, you're fronting right on the street. They were putting them right in front of porches, and those people are used to sitting on their porch, not seeing it. So do the citizens have input into where they go?
yes, actually, there's been several folks that have identified that they want to be a part of the discussion, and we're going to be forming a committee that will allow public input as part of that as we go forward. And I want to go on record today, and on record on social media and all that other stuff. We're not putting anything in anybody's yard that they don't want. You know, so if you don't want an apple tree, don't worry about it. You'll put a maple or an oak if you want to go that way with it.
No more maple trees in the city, please.
Okay.
Perfect.
We'll,
Not enough.
we'll work through that as we go through it, because I mean, I use oak, maple, and apple, but the Western PA Conservancy, I mean, I'm not a tree guy, even though my family comes from the lumber business. But if you told me, you know, if we got into the nitty gritty as an eastern oak versus a western oak or things like that, I just want it's gonna survive and go forward. And I do want to bring this up, just because this part was a big part of it. We have written into the grant 2 years of maintenance on every tree that we put into the ground. So it's not like we're gonna go out, stick this thing in the ground and go, hey, good luck, Ricky, you know, and then walk away from it. Those trees are gonna be under a maintenance program for those first 2 years for us to make sure that they flourish, that they continue something. Hey, this will happen. One of these trees will die that we put into the ground, and then we'll go back and replace it. And that's just the way that the
One
world
question
works.
for you. When they did Main Street before, they used the wrong kind of trees. The root system is too big and it lifts the sidewalk.
Mhm.
Somebody figured out that they have to use dwarf trees, so they don't get that big and don't, because that's what the gist of the thing is.
Yeah.
And they use those standard maples, which you're talking about. The root system's immense and it just keeps going and it's ridiculous. So somebody has to figure out, whatever the tree is, that the root system won't disrupt the sidewalks because it becomes a handicap versus nightmare.
Well, somebody sent me a picture of a tree that basically just blew up the sidewalk in Boston. It looks like that thing is 3 feet off the ground from the picture that I looked at. So we, at the beginning of this, started talking about that. There's a couple different solutions to it. The dwarf tree thing is something that we can do, although I don't know how big it's gonna get or if it's gonna, whatever. But we can work within the parameters. There's nothing in the grant that says which tree we have to put in there. That's our decision as far as we decide to go. The other alternative to that, we did talk to the folks that are, working through your Main Street program. And there are root system modifiers that will make sure that the roots go down as opposed to pushing up. And so those are parts of things that we're trying to investigate and we
Well,
want to
that's fine,
make sure
that's, we'll make sure that's part of the planning.
Yeah, well, and there's some of them too. I mean, not for nothing, but, the feedback I got through, the public comment already on this, because we posted it up on social media was, I don't want an apple tree here, because we're gonna dump apples, on the street, and the rats are gonna come and get it and stuff like that. That's fine. We don't put an apple tree there. I mean, the apple trees were written into the grant, and it was the first time that they ever approved something like this, because the thought process was to be a free food source for anybody who wanted it. But, Jared, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't want to go out and pick up the apples and take it over to the food kitchen or anything like that. So we need people that are going to take advantage of this. The natural solution is the community garden. If we have places like that, like Woodville, West End, I mean, all of the community gardens we have around town, we could put apple trees in, or pear trees, or palm trees. I mean, it's not defined, it just says food producing trees. So we can do that, and we need that feedback, because I don't want to miss that either, and the last thing I want to do is do something good for the city and then find out I turned it into a headache.
Well, I just have a suggestion here. Everything you said is great, which would probably answer a lot of questions from the community, because you answer all the questions I've been hearing for the past few months. Can you please put that in letter form or something and put it on your website, your social media, everything you basically said? Because that answered all the questions that everybody had about everything. So what you said was great, but the world needs to hear that.
Yeah, and I did post that up, like when the initial grant was announced. Joe Toronto was questioning the grant system and what we were doing and stuff, so I went into great explanation to make sure that I addressed those in a social platform, as public as we could get at that time. But I agree, I can easily go in and make another post to put that up.
Just everything is, as much information as possible, because what you said is perfect. It needs to be heard.
If I could just add, like you said, as a suggestion for the February session, I know that you said it would be different in council, but I would like to suggest that, I know you said the public, it was not open to the public, however, that you would utilize some of the leaders from the United Neighborhood Groups, some of the neighborhood groups, because I do feel that you do need neighborhood people there to give their input. So I think it would be wise to have, not all of them, but the leaders from some of the key neighborhood groups there.
I think that's a great idea, because we get public input that way through committee, if you would, The other thing, and I did say the city council on this, but we're also going to be inviting state, legislators and state senator, anybody on that level that wants to give us input, we'd love to hear about it, because they need to be in alignment with the vision too, whether it's the city or visions or whatever, And if there's something that we say, hey, we'd like to do this, and you guys say, hey, that's just asinine, then, it's fine with me. It's just one less thing to cross off. And it is going to be,
for Mr. Forsey?
it is a 10-year plan, sorry.
Oh, repeat that, I'm sorry.
It's a 10-year plan that we're going to be working on. We're not going to, well, if I have it my way, it won't be Vision Together 2025 after we get through this. We'll just be Vision Together, because we're going to keep working. So, Mike?
My only question, Rob, is there, now that you've kind of got your feet under you here, has there been any conversation or any talk about whether you guys are going to be able to find some way of creating a more public and forum for your meetings, even if it's a quarterly thing or something where we can have more transparency for the public? Because it's great that you come here and you do this in this setting, but I still feel like as an elected body, it would make me more comfortable knowing that the public has the opportunity to, even if it was a quarterly thing, to be invited to a meeting where they can see what's going on and get all this information. Because as you can see, we don't get a lot of public folks here, as a rule, and the media doesn't come other than the Tribune anymore. So it is kind of the only real way that people, and then it's on them. If they don't go, they don't come, there's nothing you can do about it.
Well, and to Councilman Mott's point, we did make it a public meeting the last go around. The quarterly report outs, our plan with that is that every quarter we will do a report out that talks about what efforts we put into the area, and then, what the results of that kind of stuff is. And most of those, as the folks who have been able to attend and stuff like that have seen, those reports come from the people that do the work, But there is also a strategic discussion that goes into that. And the village chief gets up and talks about what Vision is doing and where we're going next. So the short answer is yes. I did it wrong last time. I'm a big boy. I believe that taking ownership for that stuff. And when we had the first quarterly report out, I think it was Reverend King. It was probably 100 people on that day. But that was when we were announcing the grant, because everybody was showing up for that. Second one, we were doing report outs about like the United Neighborhoods groups and wheelchair Washington that I talked about the last time I was here. And those were parts of the report out that came out. We had probably like 30 people. So, it was a big difference. So I've got to move that meeting, as she said, after work hours, see if we can get more folks to show up and then make that a part of it. So I will make that commitment to you. That is done, and it will get better.
Okay, appreciate it.
So, yeah,
Any other questions? If not, thank you, Rob.
thank you.
City manager, anything else to report?
The only other thing, I just want to thank Jared and the Public Works Department. We had our first snowfalls for quite some time. The last one being heavy, wet snow, which is the worst kind to deal with. So just wanted to recognize and thank the Public Works Department for their work over the past few days. And that's all I have.
Any questions for the city manager? Okay, if not, before I go into my report, unfortunately, I didn't see the courtesy of the floor on a agenda item. So Eric Reiger, if you would like to come forward and give us an update on the State Theater and all the great work you're doing there. And are we gonna get the kids to dance too, like the last time?
I can, yeah.
They did a great job, by the way. Eric, your name, address, and then what you're speaking in regards.
Sure. My name's Eric Riekert. Our address is 320 Main Street, and I'm going to be speaking on behalf of our board about the State Theater subdivision plan. So I'm here on my birthday to talk about the State Theater. I'm 38 years old and find myself in a reflective state as I look over the last 5 years from moving my family back home from Baltimore. For decades growing up here, people would tell you that it felt like a prison sentence. Adults and mentors within my purview would all echo the same thing: when you're old enough, get out and never come back. As I grew older, I did nothing to look into my perceptions and understand if the region was truly as bad as people said it was. Thoughts and perceptions turned into actions, and a job opportunity took us to the Baltimore region. Shortly after moving there, we knew that we wanted to move home, be closer to our family, and have our children raised next to their grandparents and extended family, and to also change perceptions for the future generation about the town. The State Theater was built in 1926, and as we all know the story that I've been here with you guys a lot now, talking about this, hopefully this is the last time for a long time, became available when we moved home. We saw this project and this building as an opportunity to enter into entrepreneurship, share our love of film, history, and the arts with the community, save a historic building, and bring new and exciting opportunities to the area. More than that, however, is the hope that my children grow up with an understanding that a place is what you make of it. Rather than spend 2 decades with them saying how terrible everything is, I want them to walk alongside us as we do our best to restore the building to its once great splendor, potentially unlock some hidden potential of the Johnstown area. Do I think that a theater is going to solve any and all of Johnstown's problems? Absolutely not. That's not why we're doing this. But I believe that we can be a beacon to other young people, that if you see something that you want done in your hometown and you build a strong team to support you, that anything's possible. When the theater did open in 1926, its owner, George Panagatakis, an immigrant from Greece, wrote the following: "The lavishness with which this playhouse has been beautified and furnished has occasioned widespread comment and delighted surprise. The management felt that the fullest, finest entertainment of the public is worthy of such noble effort in the interests of high art. The institution has been created in response to the conviction that standards and tastes in Johnstown and the greater Johnstown environment demand a vaudeville and photoplay establishment of the very first rank and the highest grade. We have the abiding faith that the result will vindicate our judgment through the demonstrated appreciation, cooperation, and patronage of the people in this teeming valley." Well said, George. We echo that. While the success of this project rests on my family and team's shoulders now, I'm happy to think that regardless of how successful we are over the next 5+ years and beyond, that my children may one day look back and say what a great job we did in our attempts to see Johnstown for what it truly is and what it potentially can be. We failed only if, when they are older, they reflect on the negativity that tends to come from people and ask my wife and I what we have done to change and what was so bad here. What did you do to help? If our answer is nothing, then we have failed. My birthday wish is that I hope that we can do a lot to help and bring some hope back to this region for other young people. I just want to thank you guys for taking up the vote on the subdivision plan. I know that we've already done it. There were some stipulations here and there just for timeliness of everything, so we crossed that 90-day threshold, so I thank you for expeditiously taking this up for us. We look forward to the opportunity to execute this and our vision to carry on the original version of this facility. And again, thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you. And thank you for all that you've done even to this point. You guys have done a fantastic job. Anybody who's had the opportunity to attend any of the events or showings should see the effort they put into this. And good luck in the future.
Thank you.
This time I will do the mayor's report. Had the opportunity on New Year's Eve to participate or be downtown for Celebration Downtown, Celebration Johnstown. Just want to commend Marie, Rose, John, and everybody else that really helped put that together. Brought a lot of people together downtown. a nice event for families. So thank you, and thank you to all that helped put that together. Had the opportunity to speak as a reader for what was called Service of Lessons and Carols at the Grand Hall in Kansas City. Fantastic job that they've done with what was the Immaculate Conception Church for myself growing up, and turned it into a beautiful place for celebrations and weddings and everything else. So kudos to those guys and everything they're doing for our city. Over the last month, I've probably had more meetings with our city manager than I've had in the last year. So working out a lot of details and things that we're working through as a council and representing council in some of those meetings. And I was fortunate to be able to invite it to a reception at the governor's residence over the Christmas holidays. And it gave me an opportunity to speak directly to the governor and thank him for all that he's doing for Johnstown, for our community, and put plug-ins for the money to keep coming. So it's a good opportunity to meet others. It was for for mayors and commissioners and others from across the state. So that's my report for this time. Any questions for the mayor?
I would ask, would you please read the proclamation for Mr. Charles?
We're not reading that at this
Oh,
time
okay,
because family has to go.
Okay,
So we'll be doing hopefully at the next meeting.
okay, all right.
Okay, if there's no questions for me then, we'll bypass the city solicitor. We'll talk about that under the resolutions. City engineer, you have a report. And now we will do council updates and neighborhood liaisons. We would start with Councilwoman Whitlock.
The West End Improvement Group, we're working on 2 grants. The deadlines are at the end of January. They would be for additional work at the community garden, and then some other additional work that through the United Neighborhood for the West End community. We're going to be working on that. That we have that grant from the city. We're going to be working on that thing. That's about it for the West End Improvement Group. For Celebration Johnstown, like the mayor said, it was a great time, and very appreciative of the people that were volunteering, the venues downtown that stayed open, and the churches that had the performers there. It was great. I heard a lot of great comments, compliments. Looking forward to next year. It was a good time. That's all I have.
Councilwoman King.
I'd like to start by saying thank you to the entire community for making Christ Center Community Church their 14th annual community Christmas dinner a huge success. It truly, truly was an endeavor by the community. So many people became involved this year. People I've never seen or heard before. People from Armagh, Davisville, Portage, whatever. In your note, it said, thank you for doing this. So that just motivates us to continue what we're doing, knowing that what we're doing is the right thing. So I do want to say thank you. Our church also had the opportunity to participate in Celebration Johnstown. I'd like to thank Rose and Marie for inviting us to be a part of that. We did the first ever blessing of the city of Johnstown. And on January 31st, which is a Wednesday at 6 p.m., that is the tentative date for the next United Neighborhood Meeting. Wednesday, the 31st at 6 p.m.
At your church.
Yes.
Thank you. Anything else? Councilwoman Buell.
Evening, Mayor. I would like to recommend the Martin Luther King Jr. commemorative concert on Sunday held by the Johnstown Symphony Orchestra at the high school auditorium. So that should be a wonderful event to honor Martin Luther King. And
The time on that, please.
4 o'clock. Tickets are $5.
so something affordable and something I'll need to remember. And I have been holding some individual meetings with people who work in the animal welfare space. We are having some animal welfare and animal care and control challenges in the city. So if anyone is involved in an animal welfare group or simply likes animals and would like to talk to me about that, that's an issue I certainly take to heart and am listening to some. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Capriati.
Nothing this time, Mayor.
Councilman Brett.
Yes, Mayor, good afternoon, everybody. Only thing I'd like to say, just already been said, I want to commend the city here for working through that snowfall that we had, but they came along and our streets are absolutely safe. And appreciate that. That's all I know.
Thank you. Councilman Arnone?
As your representative on the Housing Authority, as of the past few months, I have provided an update on the statistical information relating to the population of the public housing communities located within the city of Johnstown. As of December 31st, 2023, the total population of our Johnstown Public Housing Committee was 2,232. And our Section 8 vouchers held in the city of Johnstown total 1,180. This amounts to a total combination of 3,412. We are currently assisting 45% of the people living in poverty in the city of Johnstown. The possible relocation has affected these population statistics. The process to proceed with the repairs and prospect in the community with sealed bids for electric and plumbing construction will be opened on January 16th. The last time it was bid, there was only one bid. They had to resubmit it back out to get other people to bid. That's why they didn't go at the same time. So they did get more bids, and they're going to open it up to the 16th. Johnstown Section 8 program made a great strides in 2023, now assisting over 100 more families at this time last year. 862 families currently participate in this program where residents are able to rent a quality home from a private landlord in an open market with Section 8 rental assistance. These are some interesting statistics. Section 8 usage, 862 leased out of 960, 90%. The city of Johnstown has 504, not all of them. All parts of the Cambria County, 310, and there are 48 with courthouse building to outside the city, outside Cambria County. So that's the total of that number. About 5% of it is people outside the city receiving money. As a representative of the Water Authority,
Any questions on that? We'll move on.
Could you just repeat the words, 450, you said?
In the city,
Yeah,
504,
504, I'm sorry.
310 in the county, and then 48 outside the city, outside of the county. As a representative on the Water Authority, as of November, the city had 66% pressure tested. The Customer Service Department received 128 new service applications for properties transferred, and 35 inactive accounts will be activated during the month. During the month of November, there were 6 service renewals completed and 129 hydrants were winterized. In the month of November, over 1,936 sewer mains were jetted, and nearly 12,699 from the main line was inspected. Over the past few months, there were 42 pressure tests completed, bringing the total number from this up to November to 573. During the month of November, there were no sewer overflows that occurred. Currently, there is only one overflow active in the system. All reservoir pool and water quality is great. I can also report that this meeting, what you asked for, Chief, is they're going to work on getting that approved for 100 of the hundreds you guys to maintain to see how it goes from there. That'll be going at the meeting tomorrow. So I don't look for it to be any problem, but just wanted to report on that. That's all I have.
Okay. Any other comments or anything from council?
Yes, Ethan, I'm really sorry to see you. I'm really sorry I forgot to ask you this. With PennDOT doing the, helping out with the race grant, is that, how much cost savings is that against the race grant that we would have to pay out?
Potentially, that's hundreds of thousands of dollars of cost savings.
Okay,
So that would be a big cost savings.
okay. So I guess we'll figure out what we're to spend that money on as it goes down the road, right?
I'm sure it'll get spent, but the details of the contract still have to be worked out. So
Yeah.
we'll be doing that with PennDOT over the next month, and then we'll know a little bit more about exactly what PennDOT's going to be doing. But yeah, there will be a tremendous cost savings basically.
That's good. That's what I asked. All right, thank you.
Okay, very good. Moving on then with the agenda, petitions, none at this time. Ordinances for final read and adoption, none at this time. Ordinance for first read, none at this time. Resolutions, I've been asked to move up on the agenda, the city solicitor appointment with the group here this evening. So I will read the resolution, and we'll go from there then. Resolution of City Council, City of Johnstown, Cambria County, Pennsylvania, appointing Leventree, Haschak, and Rodkey as the solicitor for the City of Johnstown. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second? We have any questions or comments? None at this time. Roll call, please.
Councilor King,
Yes.
Councilor Mott,
Yes.
Councilor Egan,
Yes.
Councilor Arnone,
Yes.
Councilor Britt,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Capriati. Yes. Mayor Knapp.
Yes. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Come on up.
Notice a date before you.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir, gentlemen.
Could I ask somebody to check on that feedback noise? That's gonna bother me.
Someone have a mic on?
It's at the air.
Okay.
If you leave a mic on, put your iPad next to it, it does that.
Okay. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
We'll move back up in the order here. The State Theater, sorry.
Can we have to introduce ourselves?
Yes. My name is Randall Rodkey, and on behalf of Mr. Leventree and the firm, I want to thank council and the mayor for your confidence in our office, and we're looking forward to a good, long representation of this fine body. I'd like to introduce my associate, Dennis Berry. He will probably be the most familiar face that will appear at the meeting, but the council will have the full resources of our firm, Mr. Leventree, Brian Litzinger, myself, even Mr. Graffius, who does mostly criminal work, but we don't really deal with that here. Thank God.
Yes.
Never say
We'll all know what you're talking about.
Yes. So if there are any questions before,
Council,
that.
welcome aboard. Welcome, gentlemen.
thank you very much. Glad to be here.
We'll continue moving back up on the order with resolutions. The State Theater Minor Subdivision Plan, resolution of the City Council of City of Johnstown, Cambria County, Pennsylvania, approving a minor subdivision of 2 parcels on Main Street in the City of Johnstown. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second, are there any questions or comments on this?
I just want to clarify, this was voted on by the planning commission unanimously, and this was something we considered before. As Eric mentioned, this is just kind of a redo because of an idea from there. So that's it.
Very good. There's no other comments or questions. Roll call, please.
Councilor Brett?
Yes.
Councilor Castellano? Yes. Deputy Mayor Castellano? Mayor Janack?
Yes.
Councilor King?
Yes.
Councilor Mott?
Yes.
Councilor Eagle?
Yes.
Councilor Arnett?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Very good. DCNR grant closeout, resolution of the City Council, City of Johnstown, Cambria County, Pennsylvania, authorizing and directing the city manager to close out the Community Conservation Grant Project, BRC-RCD-25-189. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second,
Second.
questions or comments? If not, roll call, please.
Mayor Janack?
Yes.
Councilor King?
Yes.
Councilor Mott?
Yes.
Councilor Eagle?
Yes.
Councilor Arnett?
Yes.
Councilor Brett?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Castellano?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Resolution to purchase public works vehicle. Resolution of the City Council, City of Johnstown, Cambria County, Pennsylvania, authorizing the city manager to sign all documents necessary to purchase a 2017 Dodge Ram 2500 4WD pickup from Courtesy Motors. Do I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Second,
Second.
questions or comments? Is this the best deal out there, basically?
Yeah, I was just gonna note that this resolution, and the following one, both of those vehicles were bid per requirements under the PennDOT Different Fuels Program.
Okay, very good. Roll call, please.
Councilor Mott?
Yes.
Councilor Eagle?
Yes.
Councilor Arnett?
Yes.
Councilor Brett?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Castellano? Yes. Mayor Janack?
Yes.
Councilor King?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Resolution to purchase public works vehicle. Resolution of the City Council, of the City of Johnstown, Cambria County, Pennsylvania, authorizing the city manager to sign all documents necessary to purchase a 2013 Dodge Ram 2500 4WD pickup with a snow plow from Courtesy Motors. Motion, please.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
questions or comments? Same thing with this city manager. No other questions? Roll call, please.
Councilor Eagle?
Yes.
Councilor Arnett?
Yes.
Councilor Brett?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Castellano?
Yes.
Mayor Janack?
Yes.
Councilor King?
Yes.
Councilor Mott?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Resolution for RACP application. Resolution of the City Council, City of Johnstown, Cambria County, Pennsylvania, authorizing the city to sign all documents necessary to apply for funding assistance from the Pennsylvania Redevelopment Assistance Capital Program to be used towards public safety building construction in the City of Johnstown. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second? Questions, comments? I do, what is this in particular, in amounts or a little more detail on this?
Sure, Mayor. Yeah, so this will be for $2.5 million for the construction, going towards construction of the new public safety building.
When, was this filed or will be filed in 2 days?
The deadline's Friday, so it will be filed by Friday.
This would be a match with the money, ARPA monies that we have set
That's
aside at
correct.
2.5 million.
Yes.
When is the notification if we receive it?
I don't know that. Just offhand. Usually it takes about 6 months for the RAC notifications to be made, so around that time.
Can you please inform the representative's office that it was filed?
I definitely will.
And that's when it's gonna be awarded one way or the
I
other.
definitely will do that.
Yeah,
Yep.
let me know.
And that you had 100% support of the mayor and council.
Do we need to sign that letter, or are you going to just prepare the letter?
The mayor will sign the resolution and we
Yeah.
submit it. Yep, I'll have council. Yep.
Okay, there's no other questions, roll call please.
Councilor Bruce,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Cameron.
Yes.
Mayor Janowski.
Yes.
Councilor King. Yes. Councilor Mott.
Yes.
Councilor Egan.
Yes.
Councilor Arnett.
Yes.
Motion passed.
We've already completed the city solicitor appointment vote. Moving on to new business, tax assessment appeal settlement. I'll read that. There is one tax appeal settlement that needs to be approved by city council. This settlement for property located at 225-27 Franklin Street, owned by Zinn Realty. Fair market value settlement agreed to for this property is $887,500, which is between the taxpayer's appraisal of $800,000 and the taxing body's appraised value of $975,000. Recommendation on this, city manager?
The recommendation is to approve the motion approving the settlement at a fair market value of $887,500.
And these have gone through the process of the court,
They have,
the appeal process.
yes, and they've been approved by the county school district as well.
Any other questions, council? If not, roll call, please. I'm sorry, motion.
Motion.
Second,
Okay.
roll call?
Mayor Janowski.
Yes.
Councilor King.
Yes.
Councilor Mott.
Yes.
Councilor Egan.
Yes.
Councilor Arnett.
Yes.
Councilor Bruce.
Yes.
Councilor Deputy Mayor Cameron. Yes.
This appears to be not become common practice, unfortunately, across the state. Anybody watching the Pittsburgh news, some of their major corporations are filing tax assessment bills, et cetera. So solicitors, is there anything we can really do about this other than agreeing and going for the appeals, tax bill court?
If we disagreed, we would have the right to, independently challenge the appraisal and have the appraisal process before the board and not satisfied there, then a hearing before the common pleas court.
Now, the school district and the county have to agree to this too, is that correct? So I'm assuming they've already agreed to this.
They have, and Mayor, just as a note, Mr. Ritter and I have talked to the city's current attorneys who are working on this Bureau legal group who facilitated this particular appeal. And we talked to them about, what would the cost be of the process that Attorney Rodney just laid out. What would the city have to essentially put forward to go through that process? So we would know the cost of maybe getting a little bit of a reduction or a higher value on a particular building. And we have not heard back, but certainly I will report back to council once we have that information.
Any other
Yeah,
comments, questions?
I did speak with the city manager today about, I don't know if where or if we have anything budgeted in our general fund to cover the appraiser's fee and any tax rebate that we have to do. And it seems like this isn't a once a year kind of thing. They seem to be popping up more often, and I just don't want this to be a budget issue if there's not money allocated somewhere. And I don't want to see us taking money from things that benefit the city to cover this. So we have to look at that.
Moving on then, you want to explain the fee schedule, city manager?
Yeah, certainly, Mayor. So last year, as you recall, the city adopted a comprehensive fee schedule for the first time. It's worked out pretty well for 2023. There's a few minor updates that the staff is going to be proposing next month in the form of a first read ordinance. And so we wanted to provide a draft of the fee schedule for council's review so that you can review it as well and make any suggestions for updates to staff over the next month before we get the February agenda out.
Any questions on that? Okay, if not, moving on to old business, reference to the Greater Johnstown Water Authority appointment. The city received notice from the Greater Johnstown Water Authority in terms of a large member, John Follansby, expired on December 31st, 2023. Mr. Follansby has expressed interest in being reappointed. This time we'll accept nominations for that position.
May I make the motion for, we just table this for the simple factors? I think it needs to be re-advertised. I know there was an advertisement back last year of open seats, but since this is a brand new year, and I'm certain there'll be some other seats open on other boards, maybe we can just go ahead and do advertisement now for empty boards so that we can get more people to apply for it.
Is this an at-large position?
It is, that position was approved by both Westcott and South.
So sorry to.
We're 1/3 of that group.
But that doesn't mean you have to accept it.
No, I'm not arguing that, I'm just saying there's giving you information.
But with our vote, even if it's negative, you still would be appointed?
I would understand, I don't know that, but I would have to, because it's 2/3.
The only thing that happens if we do the table, this would leave that vacancy open. I'm sorry, this expired, yeah, it did expire December 31st.
Well, I think Reverend Keene's suggestion, and I have to second her motion to table. Just so we can sort of get our hands around this. This is a 5-year position, and we don't know if our vote is going to throw that, or it doesn't really matter with the water authority.
I will check on it tomorrow.
Pardon me?
I will check on it tomorrow.
Okay. In the meantime, I guess we can table that.
So would that leave a vacancy?
Yeah.
Just for a month.
Yeah, we've had vacancies before.
Well, we need a motion
What they have
then.
done is,
Got a motion and a second to table, we actually can't be debating the tabling.
Okay, we need a motion for table, then we can't discuss it.
They already-
I second it. She made the motion to table, I seconded it.
Then it's done deal. Roll call on that, correct?
Councilor Mon,
Motion to table, yes.
Councilor Eagle,
Yes,
Councilor Newman. Yes. Councilor Britt,
Yes,
Deputy Mayor Capriani. Yes. Mayor Knapper,
Yes.
Councilor King.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, very good. Moving on to department reports. Jared, we'd like to start with you, please.
Sure, thank you. Two quick playground items. The 100 Avenue project went out for bid the 22nd of December. I believe a scheduled pre-bid meeting for that this Friday, tomorrow at 10 a.m.
So repeat what you just said.
The 100 Avenue playground project, that went out for bid the 22nd of December. They have a pre-bid meeting tomorrow at 10 o'clock to go over those plans with proposed contractors.
Is Mary Ann?
Yeah.
She's well aware of everything.
Okay.
It's up to her baby. Yeah, we're good there.
Okay.
Yeah, go on over there. In addition to that, the contractor that was awarded the Village Street and that Somerset Street playground project, he's looking to start this week on Village Street to start the demo
Really?
portion of that project. Yeah, because there's significant demo. I mean, we're doing a whole new slate there, so
Yeah.
I'm trying to get in there early and get it demoed.
Does he have the design out yet for both of those?
I believe so. Yeah. Let me. You didn't see that?
I've seen a lot of them, but I don't know if I've particularly seen that one.
Yeah, I think I might have that.
Okay.
you can just see, I think we want to see that either.
I'll get it to you. Yep.
Can you just give it to Ethan and he can send it to everybody?
Will do.
Thanks.
You guys have any questions for me?
Anything, council? No, just to echo everybody on cleaning up with the snow and everything that's out there. Nobody wants to die.
Don't go like Jerry. Almost, you almost made it there. But Tony's report, the recreation director, he sent that out with everything got everything on that? Did we get that report?
In your packet, I'm not sure if he sent it out or not. He was going to be here today, but he texted me this morning.
Okay.
He's not feeling great, but he will be here in March.
Yeah, I
Give
did,
his report as well.
I'm pretty sure I did.
If you have any questions, I mean, I'm more than willing to answer what I know
Yeah,
regarding that.
he did go over a lot of the things that he's been working with. And with the hockey rink, I mentioned to him, I did send you the email that the lady wanted to.
School board,
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's gonna get the information on the name of the scoreboard, and she has lights too. They have lights, they're taking everything down. But, and see what company it is, if there's a warranty out there with it, if it's something that somebody can maintain here, if they're just giving us or whatever. But I'll double check on that.
the ADA ranks are in over there.
Oh,
so
okay.
We
Somebody-
touched base with the gentleman from the singles also.
Oh, okay, have they been down there at all?
I don't know that he's been down with the weather, but he kind of gave us, brainstorm idea of what he envisioned being there, and that's what we did, so.
Okay.
Jared, I have to do one question. The flagpole, the Legion put up down there, the light's out on it. I know you can't go look at it now, the ground's too soft, but if you, when you get there with the new building, get the truck back there, let us know.
We'll check it out.
If it needs replaced, let me know and we'll get one.
We'll do.
While we're asking extra questions. The lights
There are a
on
bunch of other departments.
On Main Street, the lights are out the whole way up on the right side. Are we making any progress at that?
Yeah.
Franklin Street well.
Yeah,
Yeah, Franklin Street as well.
there's some the underground wiring is bad. We're trying to locate the problem now. I spoke to Councilman
That's
people
been
about
kind of
that.
ongoing quite a while.
So, right now, the only problem that I'm aware of is that 500 block of Main Street. Everywhere else should be.
500 blocks of Franklin Street also.
500 blocks of Franklin. Are they, are they telephone poles, wooden telephone poles, or are they metal by chance, do you know? And that would be a kind of like issue, but we can get numbers off of them.
And the pole in front of my building, where the person got hit, the two ladies got hit, they still haven't replaced the ball.
We notified Penelec, we're at the mercy of Penelec on that. I can't go onto their poles and change their lights,
The Main Street project, will that please, for the love of God, take care of the lights and
Yes.
Yeah.
things?
Somerset Street, where they intersect right there at the Franklin Street Bar and Grill, I had brought that up once before. When they park at the Franklin Street Bar and Grill, there's really, when they park in front of the building, when you're coming off of Somerset, you actually have to go out. Yes, to see traffic coming other direction, because you can't see past the cars. And it really is an issue.
Well, we can put no word, PennDOT has line of sight standards off of an intersection, so if they don't meet those, we can put no parking during corner signs. So we need, Yep.
Okay, we've used our allotment of questions. Thank you, Jared.
You guys can go home.
Happy New Year, everybody. We had a busy year this year. We implemented the Power DMS digital policy software. That's where all our Johnstown Police Department policies live now. We're able to give tests to the officers, ensure that they understand them, and we also keep a record that they received those policies. We did transition to the Cody records management system this year. Back in the beginning of 2022, we saw the need to transition our reporting system so that we would eventually be able to be NIBRS reporting compliant. So that is progress in motion. We should be reporting NIBRS probably by the summer. We'll have to, from Cody, we'll transition to Pathfinder, and we should be well on the way with that. We did get the body worn cameras fully operational. They're being used. They're working out great. We added fleet mobile video recorders to our cars, and they work in conjunction with the body cameras. We did updates to our taser conducted entity weapons so that they all function together. When you turn on the taser, it activates cameras in the cars, body cameras, etc. We added clear technology so that our officers can do lookups to find people a little bit easier, they access public data so that they can look through credit history, different things like that, and track people from utilities and things of that nature that are public. So it's a nice system. We did implement the cruise mode function. We're low staff. We wanted to increase our visibility, reduce the fear of crime within the community, and I think this was a really nice idea. It got a lot of attention around the region. Some other departments have also gone to that. And of course, we've been continuously recruiting and hiring. We hired 8 new officers this year. Very, very happy to be able to do that. A lot of places aren't able to achieve those results. And we had approximately 34 applicants and got 8 out of that just because of our vetting process and physical standards and things of that nature. 5 of those officers are currently in training. They're in their 6th week, so we got a little ways to go yet. This year, we're going with this new group here. We're going to start rotating them through the schools with our SRO so that they can get a taste for school and get to know the kids and stuff like that, and students and staff and the community there in the school. We conducted supervisory and service training. We added another truck safety officer, so our truck safety checks are going to be done about the state mandates that each officer do a certain amount of checks. So you'll see those guys out there stopping cold buckets and big trucks and performing safety checks on those. Keep our highways a lot safer. Last year we had 5 homicides. That's down from 12 in 2022. And I attribute a lot of that success, if you will call it that. It's still 5 homicides, but bringing it down was just our dogged work at narcotics enforcement. Last year, we conducted 141 controlled buys of illegal narcotics. We conducted 28 search warrants, resulting in the seizure of 6 semi-automatic firearms. We also seized crystal meth, bath salts, fentanyl, heroin, crack, and regular cocaine. The highest quantity of things, in most instances of seizures, was crystal meth in the area.
What's the guesstimated street value of some of that?
So the street value on the crystal meth that we did, I didn't write that down, but I think we got 35 grams, and it might have been in the neighborhood of $13,000, somewhere in that neighborhood. But so we're out there hitting them hard and trying to make a difference.
I will be talking with Sue Mann to get that application in again in February for the LPRs. City Manager, I'm gonna get with you because the last one, Mr. Demansky did a letter of commitment, I think they call that, with the 1889 Foundation. But there's something that needs to be done, and she assured me that we need to get that in February, and she said she's gonna push hard for it. She doesn't think it's a problem. Plus, we have the 26,000 from the city that was supposed to be a match, partial match to it. I just saw Northern Cambria had something on the news the other day, and I'm hoping to get that on here.
Yeah, we did go to Northern Cambria and visit their police department, and we did look at their cameras, and so, I mean, we're excited too, and, you know, I'm disappointed it's taking this long.
Me too.
It'll be a great tool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's,
That was pretty amazing. That's that AI.
Yep.
Spatial recognition and
Everywhere.
It's
It's interesting, yeah.
it's neat how it pulls information, and, you know, the information that's available at our fingertips is, as far as coming and going, the ability to solve crimes more quickly. Of course, as we improve our technology, we're able to access that more quickly. So, and then, again, part of the vision here is to go to the real-time crime center so that we're proactive with these cameras rather than reactive, going back and looking up, oh, something happened, let's check it out. So we're working to get that all in place too. So that's a big piece of it.
Yeah,
You know, I appreciate all your work you're doing on that.
thank you. I did, it my conversation with her, she's looking at this and so like, is phase one. So just to get this built up into something, and then, you know, we can get, money from the state or federal agency or justice or whatever to add to it, build it out. So I'll keep you updated on that, and if I need anything, city manager, and I'll get it.
That's what we're hoping, is, I guess that when we got the price tags right around $78,000, what we really want to see happen, you know, to be able to cover, those entrances and exits to the city, and from the city. So, you know, we got a couple steps.
Well, we're getting there. Don't worry about it, I'll get that.
Looking forward to phase one.
Yep, thank you.
Any other questions for the chief?
Chief, there used to be a practice that when new officers were hired, that they would come to a council meeting
Yes.
and have the opportunity to meet each one of us and shake our hands. I wish you would implement
Oh,
that.
that'd be fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if we do that, please.
To piggyback off that, we actually, because I was one of the ones that had to go through this, we used to swear them in, the mayor. It was just an informal thing, but they would swear them in and they would get introduced to everyone, and that's how we used to.
That was, we did have the mayor swear in the first batch that I hired, however,
Is it
Mr. Williams.
wrong? Somebody say it was wrong.
Yeah,
Or I do it informally.
It's just like an
Wow.
informal swearing,
Okay.
unless
Yeah,
you bring
that
a,
would be
unless you
fantastic.
bring
I
a.
mean, just to bring them up to meet you guys and then have to meet the mayor. I mean, that was the intention of it in the first place, and, we got called out on it, we had to change.
Well, I'm sure that Mr. Stewart, I shouldn't say Mr. Stewart, I'm sure that either Magistrate Suvich or, you know, his compadre would happily come to do that. It's not like it's an every week occurrence, so.
Yeah.
With those eight that you just said that you picked up, how many are supposed to be down now?
Currently, we're, 4.
Better,
Yeah.
yeah, better than double digits, that's okay.
Yeah.
Another suggestion I know, that maybe Capriati brought up is, business cards
Oh, yeah.
for the officers, because a lot of them will stop, and if somebody says, well, what was his name? I don't know, I can't remember it, and if they don't have the business cards, you know, or some kind of identification, business cards with a phone number. Yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
yeah, that was, Deputy Mayor Capriati's idea.
Thank you, man. Those are great ideas. We'll make it happen.
All right, thank you, chief.
Thank you.
Fire chief?
Hello. Actually, a relatively uneventful December, which is a nice thing to say for a change. Our run load was actually slightly down from the previous year. A number of fires in coordination with that have been down a little bit, which is a good thing, actually. No major fires last year, so pretty good. Still working this year with the training set coming up and stuff. Other than that, staff's great. Any questions? I've been out with Dave doing rental property inspections.
Any questions for the chief?
I was gonna ask about rental properties.
Dave can do that one. They're not doing bad.
Well, we have finance next, so.
You're jumping order.
Jumping again.
Yeah, now I gotta get up again.
Pickleball playing there.
Hello, I just wanted, we're completely off the old software now that we were using before. We're totally on the new software.
Codes too?
Codes too, and Dave's working on getting the tablets to the codes officers so that they can use them in the fields. And, you know, they're connected directly to accounts receivable too, so all the departments are interconnected, which they weren't before. So, so now we're just utilizing it, we're moving ahead with it, so.
So the Freedom software is all done now?
Yes,
What kind of training was used to help you guys along?
Edmunds is the company that we bought the software from, and they did training, like Zoom meetings and just sort of trained and they asked
Do
questions.
you think it was adequate? That's an important piece.
Yes, and as you use it, you know, using it, you have to use it day in and day out, and then you learn how to get through it, and then if a question comes up, they have a help desk that you can, help them. And Dave's, I think, they're still sort of working through getting used to it and the details of it yet, so.
Questions for Mr. Ray?
What ended up being the actual reason for the whole mess that went on with the employee and retiree healthcare changeover that took place? Did that fall, did any of that fall on our end of something we did, or was that all Highmark, or was it Mock, how did that?
Oh, that was actually Highmark that made the mistake and did not enroll us into the change plan. And that was really the Highmark's error. So we got that corrected as soon as we found out about it, we got it corrected. But, yeah.
But any charges will be retroactive to Highmark, right? If something occurred.
Yes, yeah. It was just a transition from the old Highmark plan to the new Highmark plan. They didn't change everybody over.
So we got letters are starting to come out, and it's all, it's we got yesterday, basically. Plan, since our plan no longer existed. Make sure that you were, because it did performance test, especially with retirees, because they really didn't understand what was happening.
Yeah. I understand that some were trying to get their prescriptions and then they found out.
Yeah, well, they could get it like it would have been at the cash price versus the COVID price. But I did, the two people that I knew of, two police officer and firefighter that reached out to me. The way they explained it was the pharmacy, because it was Martello's and they're a local place, they just told them they were gonna just give them their prescription and hold off on the bill until it overlapped. So,
Any other questions or comments? If not, thank you, Mr. Ritter. Community development, how are we looking at hiring on that, or I should say applicants, basically, and where we're at?
Yeah, we had a large number of applications, and what I reported earlier, there are 4 applicants that were conducting interviews, with 2 of those have taken place, 2 more later this week. It's still open, so if there's candidates out there that would like to apply, they can still apply.
What's the deadline on application?
We have kind of a rolling open deadline right now. We didn't set a date. The one website where we're most likely to get qualified candidates had some technical difficulties over the holidays, so they didn't get our notice posted. So it's posted up now, and so we're hoping to get a few more applications after that.
What was our range of advertising? How far out? Do we do Indeed and then predict?
Yeah, we did Indeed, some national trade organizations and also statewide as well. So we advertise state and local. And actually of the 3 applications or 4 interviewees, none of them live in Pennsylvania right now. A couple of them have Pennsylvania roots and connections, but none actually reside in Pennsylvania right now. So, but that's because, and again, I think that goes back to the one job posting website that we missed. That's where we're most likely to get the state candidates.
So if none of the applicants are local, obviously they'll have to move here. This isn't gonna be a hybrid work from home kind of remote.
Oh, no, it's advertised as an in-person position, absolutely, yeah.
All righty, code enforcement day, you're finally up.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
For the month of December 2023, there was 146 service requests issued, code violations. I would say approximately there was 1,300 to 1,350 for the year 2023. Just December, there was 18 building permits issued. For the year, for rental registration, we were at 350 total. And as Chief Sauber said, we are now actively going out and doing inspections Right now, we have, between last month and just the beginning of January, we've did about 16 unit inspections. One of those that has failed.
So how do you determine who's on the list to go first, second?
Whoever submitted their rental registrations last year in January,
They're the first ones.
they're the first ones this year. Same thing with February and so on and so forth.
I have a question. Now, in October, the end of October of 2023, we had 278 rental registrations. And so you're saying there's 350.
At that point in October, there was 278.
Right. So that means November, December, you did what, 72?
Approximately.
Wow, okay.
And as we find them through code violations, we're sending out the paperwork to have them registered as well.
How many rentals do we have? Do you know, have a general idea?
I'm currently working with the water authority as well to try to find more rentals. As the guys are out, yeah, we'll send the paperwork out for it, but I reached out to the water authority, Monica. She's been great to deal with. She said, beginning of January, she was gonna try to get me a list. Whenever they fill out their paperwork for the water authority, there's a box to check if it's a rental or if it's not.
Yeah.
So she would be working to compile some of her data, and we can kind of look at the two.
I would have suggested, like, about 6 months ago, maybe longer, maybe it's before you were hired, the housing authority offered to help with some of the inspections. I don't know if that still stands open, but you might want to touch base with Mike Elbert and see where it was. I know that they had offered in the past to do some, help you in some way. I don't recall exactly what it was, but if it's there, it might give you a space on the road off.
As we're doing some of these rental inspections, I'm taking some of the I'm taking the code officers out with me to let them know what we're looking for, to try to integrate them into doing some of the inspections as well, whether it's with myself or Chief Stotler or one of his staff, so that we can do more rental inspections, not just hanging out. So we're trying to integrate and teach them what we're looking for as well. So I look to increase that number significantly in working with the water authority. On top of that, there were 2 units to the magistrate in the month of December. And then January, we have a couple more going to the magistrate. Some of them are going to be follow-ups on some properties that we have already taken. Some of them are new. So just letting you know on that. And then I'm reaching out to Johnstown School District, the VOTEC, the vocational schools, to try to look and maybe potentially recruit some seasonal help for this summer. There was I hope he's doing well for Jared, but one of our seasonal guys went over with Jared for the winter season.
That was one of my questions, if you're gonna start doing that, early, not wait till April.
No, I'm gonna do that now, and then, I'm also gonna register for the pickup PA or cleanup PA,
Yes.
again, like we did last year, and so I'm gonna start trying to set the groundwork for that.
Okay, that's good.
Let's coordinate that with Vivian.
I'll talk with Luana and Rob, and
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely, I'm gonna reach out to everybody that the neighborhood groups,
Yeah.
just like we did last year,
Yes,
absolutely.
okay, all right.
How did it pan out at the Boyer Street residence?
It was fun. We vacated property right there before Christmas. Until the beginning of the week, I wasn't aware of any issues there.
Yeah.
I went out, it was either yesterday or this morning, I can't believe it, they were running all together. But the back window pane had fallen in. Wasn't broken or anything. I didn't see footprints. In the pictures, I saw footprints, but we boarded that up, secured it. Nobody was in there.
Which address, or you can't say the address? We don't want to.
I can let you know.
Yeah.
Okay, because, well, the picture she sent me the first time, the window was open, It was actually, sash was up,
I think the sash actually just fell in. It wasn't broken,
okay, but,
but we boarded everything.
okay, so it's boarded up regardless.
And I didn't see any footprints other than ours,
Okay,
when we secured the car.
okay.
Yeah.
I'll just keep an eye out. I'll tell her to.
Oh, please, yep.
I know it's not your department, but there was a list of demolitions that were to be done for December. Any of them get involved?
I believe there was,
The Glen Street property is the one on,
I
nailed to the cross.
think there was 3 or 4 done, give or take.
There were two in my area, I know.
Was Glen Street done?
I
Black Street was on the contract.
Yeah, well, so there was a bit, we have a bidding issue with the Glen Street contract. Because well, and there's some legal issues here that I can speak to, but that contract has not been awarded yet.
With the big on that property down at Save-A-Lot.
Yeah.
Where there was potentially people living in there. Fire Chief Stotler and myself went in, upon the complaint from the resident, I contacted the property owner, told him what the complaint was. He expressed that he was with us in the city's opinion that they are not staying in there. I talked to the tenant who has the lease, made contact with her. Well, I vacated the property, essentially, because you can't live, this is a commercial unit, a residential unit is not in compliance. She reached out to me, and at that point in time, she said, please come and do an inspection. This was all within 24 hours, and I was watching the property the morning before to make sure nobody was taking anything out. Fire Chief Stotler and myself and a code officer went in. There was no food, no clothes, no beds.
The first day, I said, don't worry, well, they just put the church in there.
And that's what she had said, she may go in there at night to pray or, but yeah, there was nothing in there indicating that they were living.
What is happening with the rats?
There's no food in the existing stable out there. We walked around the property, front, rear, looked through windows, freezers. From what we could see, no food, no rats, nothing that we saw that would indicate pests. And there was a truck there with Dollar General unloaded food. Again, and I knew there was pest control done there. I've seen pest control trucks there, talked to the Save-A-Lot's gone. From what the owner said, Save-A-Lot terminated the lease with property owner, so they won't even be done.
I have a question, and it's, how can you turn a commercial, what needs to happen for a commercial property to be turned into a residential property?
They'd have to come to my office and apply for a building permit.
Okay.
They would also potentially, depending on the work, they'd have to have engineer drawings done per UCC guidelines, Uniform Construction Code, that would convert. To change the occupancy, everything needs to be brought up to code. So exiting, accessibility, structurally, and sometimes we even get into, natural light coming through the windows.
That's happened now, and I think Laura's thinking the same thing as I am, that they have to apply for a petition to have the property.
Zoning and everything else coming
Nothing
into
else,
it.
yeah, I mean, if they don't reserve the
But
property.
it kind of starts with that building permit, right? They'll reach out to me, I'll explain to them that, they need to reach out to an engineer, get their engineered plans. Once I receive the plans, if I see that it needs to be rezoned, we'll work with other city staff to have that done or not done. On commercial, structurally and accessibility, yes. So I always refer them, you want to speak to an engineer regarding up-to-date uniform uniform construction code standard.
Any other questions or comments this time? Okay, moving on.
I'm sorry, Chief, Fire Chief. There is a fire hydrant that was reported to me. Fire hydrant right here by the YWCA, Geiger in Somerset.
Okay.
It's cracked. The ground, I guess, I thought it was cracked.
I'll look at it.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else, council? If not, public comment on agenda items, no one signed up for that. There's no other business, meeting adjourned.
Good job, that was.
You look a little tired.
It's no Friday.
I know. I was in.
Yeah, we're gonna do this geo mapping.
Yeah.
And that was. No, that's from Bird. Yeah, the bounce, because we had 12,688 for the truck, that's all that 210 Bird. And then 64,000. What's that?
Well, it was the noise up there, and there was something else.
No, looks like it's.
I don't know, man.